you action figure enthusiasts out there. JC here with another Toy Talk video. Now this is really kind of a new segment that I've been playing around with, and I'm still tweaking it to a large part. So this is actually going to be very different than the last Toy Talk video I did, where I did more of a review type thing. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about really something that's more movie oriented than action figure, though I will actually bring it around to action figures towards the end. You know, we are calling this Toy Talk, so there will be some Marvel Legend talk towards the end of the video. But what I really want to focus on today are these new images that were released by Marvel Studios, official images for the upcoming Captain Marvel movie. Now, these images come via Entertainment Weekly, and I will put a link to them in the video description below. But we're getting our first extensive official look at the Captain Marvel movie, which opens up in March, early March. The actual release date is going to be March 8th, so it's the first Marvel Cinematic movie of the new year. Now, with these new images, we get looks not only at Brie Larson in her Captain Marvel outfit, but also other characters that are going to be in the movie. And so I just kind of want to first walk through these images and share them with you and share my thoughts on them. These are just my thoughts and theories. I don't have insider information. This isn't like me telling you what's going to actually happen. So not other than the images themselves, which are pretty much out there everywhere. You know, this isn't really spoiler material. It's just really my kind of theories on what we're seeing here. So I'm going to walk you through each image. The first image here is of Brie Larson wearing the Captain Marvel outfit. You know, she's in a desert or something, so I don't know what's really going on here. Looks like she's pretty pissed off from her expression, so I'm guessing maybe she's getting ready to start some kind of battle, you know, being she's in outfit, costume, and everything. But basically, this gives us our first real look at her Captain Marvel outfit. And overall, I think they've done a pretty good job here. You know, it looks realistic, yet keeping the elements from the comics and everything. It definitely looks more like a leather type suit, but spandex is pretty hard to pull off and keeping it look real. That's why generally we end up either seeing armored looking outfits or leather looking outfits with these superheroes. But I think, again, they've done a pretty good job here and have captured the likeness from the comics pretty good overall. Now, one thing I want to note is it's been officially established that this movie will be most of the events in this movie will be taking place in the 90s. So basically before the events of the first Iron Man movie. You know, the only Marvel Cinematic movie that would have taken place already would have been Captain America: The First Avenger, but Cap is still on ice at this time, so you know, I don't know exactly how they're going to be working this, but you know, we're going to be seeing Nick Fury in this movie. I believe Agent Coulson is going to make an appearance in this movie as well, but this movie definitely takes place long before the events of Avengers: Infinity War. Now, my guess is either at the very beginning, you know, maybe at the beginning we start off with you know, the lead-in scene or the extra scene that we saw in Avengers Infinity War, and then we go to like a flashback type deal, or maybe we start off in the 90s and then the movie ends with an after credit scene that takes us into Avengers Infinity War in the present. I don't know, but again, the majority of this movie will be taking place in the 90s. Okay, now on to this next image. This next image seems to take us into outer space, so the movie definitely appears is going to have points of it which will take place on Earth, and then other points that will take place in space. If you're not that familiar with Captain Marvel, she does have very strong connections with the Kree Empire, and definitely looks like we're going to be getting additional looks at the Kree. We last saw the Kree in the movies in Guardians of the Galaxy. The Kree have had a pretty dominant presence in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Kree members have actually been on Earth during the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series. It will be kind of interesting to see if they incorporate that element of the Marvel Cinematic Universe into this movie. I don't know. Again, I do believe that Agent Coulson will be in this movie, but I don't know if they'll kind of just gloss over the things that have happened. I mean, again, being this takes place before those events, they might not really even have to address it. I don't know. But again, you know, the Kree have a very strong connection with Captain Marvel. And so here in this new image, we're seeing what's called the Starforce, which is an elite military team of Kree operatives. We can see here that it looks like Carol is a part of that team. We're also seeing a couple familiar faces that we've seen before in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So the Korath character, the guy who worked for Ronan the Accuser, is here. He's part of the Starforce team. And then we're also seeing here Ronan himself. So Ronan in the Guardians movie had basically been dejected from the Kree Empire. He was considered an extremist and was on his own. But here it looks like he is still a prominent member of the Kree Empire. I think that might be the Jude Law character, which I believe is Captain Mar-vell, who, if you're a longtime comic book reader, was the original Captain Marvel character, died of cancer. It was a big graphic novel they did back in the day. But I believe that's who is standing next to... I know the Captain Mar-vell character is in the movie, but I'm not 100% sure if that's him standing next to Ronan here in this image. But definitely looks like, Ronan is a predominant member in the Kree Empire during the events of this movie. Now, this next image definitely shows the Jude Law character next to Brie Larson, Carol Danvers. This looks like maybe is during some kind of training session, I'm guessing. Captain Mar-vell or this character, the Jude Law character, they don't really address him as Captain Mar-vell in the EW article, but again, I do believe that's who he's supposed to be. And with this strikes me as maybe they're in some kind of training session. Mar-vell is described as essentially being a mentor to Carol, so I'm guessing maybe this is some kind of training session or something along the lines of that. Okay, now this image, this is a big one. This gives us our first look at the Skrulls. So the Skrulls are essentially arch enemies of the Kree, and in the comic books, if you're not familiar, they're basically shapeshifters. Their basic form are these green, kind of lizard-like looking aliens. Now, I gotta say that they don't look bad to me here, but they don't really look like how they appear in the comics. With the wrinkly skin and everything. So, I don't know. These guys look more like they were based on designs of the Reman that we saw in Star Trek Nemesis. Even with the outfits, that's what it reminded me of when I saw these guys, was the Reman aliens that we saw in Star Trek Nemesis. So, of course, that's caused a lot of theorizing, people thinking that possibly Avengers 5 is going to be based on the Secret Invasion storyline, and in the comics, that's where the Skrulls infiltrated the superhuman community a long time ago, apparently. And so it turns out many people that we thought were heroes were actually Skrulls. And so, again, we're seeing a lot of theorizing that that's what they're going to do here with the movies. And so, could Tony Stark have been a Skrull this entire time? I don't know. I tend to doubt it, but, if we see, somebody get killed off at the end, finally get killed off, killed off at the end of Avengers 4, then my guess is we'll be seeing people saying, they were actually Skrulls, or who knows, maybe we'll actually see a Skrull, somebody turn into a Skrull at the end of the next Avengers movie. I don't know, but definitely I suspect we will see a lot of theories and people claiming they know what's going to happen and so on and so forth. But again, it's interesting to see that the Skrulls, and in this image it looks like the Skrulls are on Earth. Looks like they're coming out of a beach or something, so they probably crash landed or something and are coming out of the water to do who knows what. Okay, this next image is kind of a behind-the-scenes image. The male on the one side and the female are the directors of the movie. Now, the guy in the middle is supposed to be a Skrull in disguise who's taken the shape of a human. Apparently, he's the leader of the Skrulls here on Earth. His name is Mendelsohn Talos, and apparently at some point in the movie, he infiltrates S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, this is what's being described in the EW article, so I'm just sharing that with you. So, sorry, spoiler, but apparently this guy does infiltrate S.H.I.E.L.D. at some point, and he takes on a human form. The other two, again, are just the directors of the movie. This is kind of a behind-the-scenes image. Okay, now this image is another behind-the-scenes-like image. We see Ronan the Accuser. It gives us a better look at Ronan. It looks like he's standing next to the Jude Law character. character, Captain Mar-vell, and then that's the director, the female director. This movie actually has two directors, so we get a female and a male director. The female director's name is Anna Boden, and the male director is Ryan Fleck. Okay, this next image shows Carol Danvers wearing some civilian clothes, 90s clothes with a 9-inch nail t-shirt. She's also wearing what looks like a shield hat, so I don't know what's going on here. It looks like she's in some kind of storage or filing room, but you know, she does have the shield hat on, indicating that she is part of shield here. Okay, this next image shows Samuel L. Jackson, who we all know plays Nick Fury in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, the things to note about this image is that Nick Fury is made to look younger here. The wonderful special effects of CGI, so they make him look younger. Also, he's got both of his eyes here. I don't know, you know, they say he's got both of his eyes during the time of this movie. Looks like he's already got an injury over the one eye, but I'm guessing we'll probably learn why he actually lost his eye and wears the eye patch some point during this movie. Okay, now this final image, while it doesn't look terribly exciting, is actually a little bit of an Easter egg and possibly a hint of another Marvel character entering the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So you can see on the airplane, it lists her as Maria Photon Rambeau. I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. I always get that confused. But basically, this is another Captain Marvel, another character in the Marvel Universe in the comics that took on the Captain Marvel name. Not really affiliated with the Kree or anything in any way, but later on became Photon. She changed her name to Photon. So I don't know if that means we'll actually see her become a superhero in this movie, but definitely some indications here that that might be a possibility, at least down the road. Okay, so that's it for the images. So overall, I gotta say I'm pretty impressed with what I see here. There's definitely nothing here that causes me worry. The Skrulls, you know, they don't really look like Skrulls from the comics, but they don't look bad to me either, so that doesn't really bother me. I think the costume looks good. I will hold off judgment, obviously, until we see more, but at least with these first impressions, I've got to say that I think this has the chance to be a pretty good movie. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm going to actually bring this back around to talking toys, since after all, this video is called Toy Talk. And basically, I'm just going to, you know, kind of want to speculate on what we'll probably see for Captain Marvel movie-based figures. Now, we've probably seen two of the comic book-based figures for the first wave of Captain Marvel figures, which I'm sure we'll see more of at New York Comic Con. We'll probably see an actual Captain Marvel movie figure revealed at New York Comic Con would be my guess. That I think is almost a given. But the comic book based figures that we've seen are the Mar-vell figure, which we saw at San Diego Comic Con. He's the son of Captain Mar-vell. He's wearing this particular version of the character is wearing the green Kree outfit. So I'm sure that's going to be one of the comic book based figures for the Captain Marvel line. And then we saw what is likely going to be the Build-A-Figure for the Captain Marvel line, the Kree Century. We saw that at the unboxing convention. So we know those figures are coming. Hasbro hasn't specifically said how they're going to be released, but again, I'm guessing that those are going to be comic book based figures for the first Captain Marvel wave. And then, like I said, it's almost a given that we'll see a Captain Marvel figure, Brie Larson in the Captain Marvel outfit, the red one. Will we see a green outfit version? I would say probably, since it seems like it would be just pretty much an easy repaint, but probably not in the regular wave. My guess is they'd probably do that as like a store exclusive or something. Other characters I could see them definitely doing are the Jude Law character, Captain Mar-vell himself. That seems like a likely one to do for a movie-based figure. An updated Ronan maybe, but he really doesn't look that much different from how he appeared in Guardians of the Galaxy, and we just got the MCU Ronan figure, so I actually hope they don't do Ronan in this line. Skrulls, I definitely could see them doing a Skrull figure. If not in the regular wave, then as some kind of exclusive, maybe with alternate parts. I don't know. If they could somehow incorporate the shape-shifting powers with the figure, that would be really cool. I seriously doubt we're going to see Super Skrull in this movie, mainly because I don't think they're ready. You know, Super Skrull has close connections with the Fantastic Four, so I kind of tend to doubt that we're going to see Super Skrull in this movie, and therefore, you know, if we see Super Skrull, you know, there's been long rumors that we could see Super Skrull, a comic book based one, as a Walgreens exclusive, and so that's likely how we'd probably see that character. But other characters I could see doing in the movie line, we could see Koroth, since we've seen him in 2 different movies. That seems like maybe it would be a good pick. Or maybe even some of these other Kree members that we're seeing in the one movie image. Again, I'm not really familiar with what those characters' names are. I'm sure we'll learn those sooner or later, but those guys could be up for movie figures as well. But definitely, I think Captain Marvel is a given. A Skrull is a strong possibility, either in the wave or some kind of store exclusive. And then the Jude Law character, Captain Mar-vell, seems like another likelihood. And then, whether they do a second wave of Captain Marvel figures or not would probably depend largely on how successful the first wave was. Originally, like with Black Panther, originally they weren't going to do a second wave of Black Panther movie figures, but the first wave apparently was so popular that they went on and did a second wave at the last minute, which will be hitting very soon. But again, they weren't originally planning that, so my guess is we'll see the same thing with Captain Marvel. It'll be based on how popular the movie is and how popular the figures are. Okay, so that's it for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything we talked about. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Are you looking forward to this movie? What did you like most about these new images were released? And what kind of Marvel Legend figures would you like to see from the movie? Also, please like the video if you're so inclined and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You should also hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And of course, you can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I have links to all those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.